In the world of manufacturing, we often find ourselves caught in a web of numbers, estimates, and assumptions that can lead to some pretty serious misallocations of costs. Imagine a scenario where every product you make is supposed to have a clear and accurate cost associated with it, based on the resources it consumes. In a perfect world, you'd know exactly how much each pencil, each widget, or each piece of machinery costs to produce. But in reality, it's a different story. Let's break this down. You see, manufacturing costs can be distorted in so many ways. It's like trying to piece together a puzzle, but half the pieces are missing or don't even belong in the box. The result? Each product appears to be more expensive than it actually is, leading to decisions that can be downright detrimental to a company's bottom line. Take, for instance, the process of cost allocation itself. It's supposed to be straightforward, right? You take the total costs of materials, labor, and overhead and spread them evenly across all products. Sounds simple, but the devil is in the details. If you don't have accurate data, if your processes are flawed, or if you're relying on outdated assumptions, you can end up allocating costs in a way that makes it seem like your high-volume products are losing money, while your low-volume products look profitable, even when they're not. Let's dive into a couple of scenarios to illustrate this. In one situation, we have a data reconciler in a cheese manufacturing plant. After each production day, supervisors submit timesheets to report labor hours. But here's the catch. There's a consistent 10 to 20% disconnect between what's reported and what the time clock says. Why? Because they bring in temporary workers who don't always get tracked properly. So, to reconcile the discrepancies, the data reconciler allocates the difference based on the total pounds of cheese packaged. Now, this might sound harmless, but it's anything but. By doing this, she's creating a false yield for all production lines, disregarding the fact that some lines are more efficient than others. The result? The missing cheese gets added back into the system later, leading to distorted yields and skewed data that makes it impossible to pinpoint where improvements can be made. In another scenario, let's say we have two plants producing pencils. One plant focuses solely on amortuda yellow pencils, while the other produces a variety of colors and types. Both plants have the same production capacity, but Plant B's costs are spread thin due to the complexity of multiple product lines. When it comes time to allocate overhead costs, they use machine hours as the base, but here's the kicker. The overhead costs for Plant B are significantly higher due to the extra resources needed to manage all those different products. So, when they allocate costs based on machine hours, the number 2 yellow pencils end up bearing a disproportionate share of the overhead costs. Meanwhile, those green pencils, which require more resources to produce, get a fraction of the costs allocated to them. This misallocation can lead to disastrous pricing decisions, where the company might think they're making a profit on the yellow pencils, when in reality they're losing money. Now, let's talk about the strategic implications of these misallocations. If you're a manager relying on distorted cost information, you're setting yourself up for failure. You might think you're making informed decisions, but without accurate data, you could be inadvertently supporting losing products or pricing them too low. This is where the importance of good processes comes into play. Poor data collection leads to poor decision-making. And let's be real, nobody wants to make decisions based on guesswork. The goal should be to have accurate, real-time data that reflects the true cost of production. This means investing in better systems, better processes, and, importantly, better collaboration between departments. Now, let's not forget about metering. Without proper metering, it's nearly impossible to track resource consumption accurately. If you don't know how much material you're using or how much labor is being consumed, you're flying blind. This is especially true in today's manufacturing landscape, where technology and the Internet of Things can provide valuable insights into every aspect of production. Imagine having sensors that track material usage in real time. You could see exactly how much cheese is going into the production line and how much is being lost along the way. This kind of visibility allows for better decision-making and ultimately leads to more accurate cost allocations. But it's not just about technology. It's about the attitudes of those running the show. Old-school plant managers often resist change, clinging to outdated methods and refusing to embrace new technologies. This can lead to a culture of complacency, where misallocations are accepted as the norm. It's crucial for organizations to foster a culture of continuous improvement, where managers are encouraged to seek out better ways of doing things and to question the status quo. So, what's the takeaway here? Distorted cost data is a real issue in manufacturing, but it's one that can be addressed. By understanding the causes of these distortions and taking proactive steps to improve data accuracy, companies can make better decisions that ultimately enhance profitability and competitiveness. Investing in better processes, leveraging technology, and fostering a culture of collaboration and continuous improvement can go a long way in fixing the allocation issue. After all, the goal is to have a clear understanding of production costs so that you can make informed decisions that drive your business forward. In conclusion, the world of manufacturing is complex and the stakes are high. But with the right approach, you can untangle the web of distorted cost data and set your organization on a path toward success. So, let's embrace the challenge and work together to make informed decisions that lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of how distorted cost data leads to manufacturing cost allocations. Let's keep the conversation going and work toward a brighter future for manufacturing.